How's it going, guys? My name is Cameron Safak. I am a all-around artist, I'd like to say, and I'm here to just answer some questions that you guys might have about your mixed locks, especially being in the dreadlock community. But for, mixed kids, you got a looser curl, whatever, yada yada yada. Yeah, whatever. I just wanted to go through some of the comments about, questions about mixed locks and stuff, and answer those questions for you guys today. I got, a little bit of length now compared to the last video that I did, even to a month or 2 months since I've gotten my last retwist. Looks like, it's loose. I need to get a retwist soon, but I like rocking this flowy look now. So the YouTube comment, so the first one looks like it's from I'm Theo 77003, was how you start your freeforms. Got the same hair type. Well, if you watched the first video, my guy, that pretty much explains it all. But to give a brief summary, I pretty much just did the freeform method and let the curls, get to the point that they wanted to combine with each other, and then go from there. So Paul Bentley Sound said, would you recommend using a dread sponge to start the freeform process? Me personally, I did not use a dread sponge to start. My curls kind of just started taking shape, and from then I went with like the natural curl pattern. I feel like if you go with like a dread sponge, yes, it can start the fro. Like, say if you have like a picked out fro and you want to use the dread sponge to start forming the curls, I think that's a good idea for sure. But if you have like a looser curl and your curls are already like taking shape, I don't think the dread sponge will really do anything to benefit you. One dumb dude commented, when you say parting, do you mean sectioning the roots off the rat tail comb, or do you mean separating with your fingers to prevent congos? I mean separating with my fingers. So when my curls started taking shape, I would go in and see two curls that were taking a shape, and say if I wanted them to take their own paths, I would go in with my fingers and split it. Make sure that, they are separated. I could even find some now that, start to attach, but it's all finger separation. So Trey C-Tone said, a quick question, Brody. When you was washing your roots afterwards, did you usually let it air dry, or would you diffuse it? After I would wash my roots, I would just let it air dry. Being mainly in the summertime when I was starting the freeforms, it was better just to be out in the sunlight. The sun helped dry it a lot, and also brought the curl to like its optimal, I guess, curl pattern. Reladela C said, yours are fire, might possibly do this, we have similar hair types. Did you moisturize after washing or condition, or did you keep it dry after washing as it was growing out? I tried to avoid conditioner, but I would still oil it. So I would wash my scalp with a shampoo, but then after that I would try to avoid conditioner because I wanted to keep the form of the curls and the locks. So I just went to oil since it was a little bit lighter, and then still was able to keep my scalp pretty like flake free. So yeah, that's what I did. Lycian San Swan, what about backcombing the curls into dreads and remove the frizz, roll the dreads inside the hand? Will it look good, you think, on 3B curls? So I get a lot of questions pertaining like specific curl patterns, and me, I'm not a curl pattern genius. I remember one video I did put up a curl pattern in the video, and I do not remember it at all. But if your curl looked anything like how mine did when I first started, I don't even know, my curl was looser than this, but that curl pattern is where my locks ended up stopping, I guess, or starting. My curl, though, my natural curl for the fro was like, if that's the curl, my curl was probably like that big. The 3B, I have no idea. But the backcombing, I never backcombed. I saw backcombing, I saw that it could be a benefit. I saw that palm rolling was actually a benefit. That's what I would do when I would split the locks. I would split the locks, and then I would kind of like go like this and palm roll them together. Keep its shape, keep its form every once in a while. Ligiga wa hadi 9768. I butchered the fuck out of that, don't care. What about if I'm starting long? Would the process be different on how to achieve this look? I feel like my hair being long would clump together so easily and fast where the fro gets bigger. So I actually had one buddy reach out to me, and he started with his hair pretty long. He had long curls, and he decided that he wanted to lock up. He approaches me, he did the freeform method, and yes, there is a big chance that your curls can combine with each other if you take like diligent care of making sure you're separating the curls and putting like a decent amount of care and maintenance into them, you'll be fine. Because the reason they combine together is because we lack the maintenance, we lack the discipline to maintain them, so then they clump together. So if we can, just keep practicing, like being able to split your roots when you see that they're starting to combine or whatever, if they're becoming too clumped than what you would like, yeah, splitting them up would definitely be a good process when you are starting with longer hair. Verb 534 said, I'm doing everything you did, just wondering when I should get that first retwist. I'm at a month and a half currently. So the first retwist is definitely a tricky one, but I would say get your first retwist after you start seeing budding. So like after you start seeing that some type of like shape is starting to happen, and it'll happen at an early stage too. It's not just like a mature budding phase thing. You'll start to see your curls start to mat up in a compact curl, or coil, I should say. So once you start seeing that budding happening, I would say you can go and try to do your retwist. Obviously too, you don't want your retwist to look like ugly, so you would want your hair to be a little bit longer before you did your first retwist, in my opinion, because I don't want my first retwist and then my hair is like this long on top of my head, like that's probably how it was when I first did it. Make sure you got some budding going on, and then make sure that there is enough length so it'll still look good to your preference when you do the retwist, because it shrinks like a motherfucker. Hunter Title said, can I start with short hair using your method, like a 2 inches hair length? It depends how tight your curl is, for sure, because me, if I buzz my head right now, I have straight hair, like pretty straight, for like the first inch and maybe like the first inch or inch and a half of my hair is pretty straight. I don't know, I haven't buzzed it recently, so maybe over time it actually got curly again. But when I was young, I remember when I had like a really low cut, it was like very straight at the start because it wasn't even long enough to create the curl. So I don't know how long or how much curl you have at the length, that 2 inches length, but if you have like some type of curl, it should be able to start to take shape. It'll probably just be harder to section it because your hair is shorter, but I definitely think you could do the same process like that. Julius 5503 said, when you were growing out the fro, did you wet your whole head when washing? I'm confused, wouldn't that mess it up? Also, how often should I wet my scalp? So when I was growing out the freeform, yes, I would occasionally rinse my hair in the shower, and that just meant drenching my full head with water. Sometimes I wouldn't even wash it, I would just drench it with water just to like refresh it, I guess, and then I would still let it air dry. Even now, like anytime I see that my hair starts to get too dry, I guess, by like the roots, or even like I can start to tell like when the fuzz isn't curly anymore, I know I need to hydrate it. So then I'll go in with like a spray bottle and I'll spray like all up here, all in here, yada yada yada, because then I know, okay, my hair's probably dry. Moisturize it, essentially. It's to your eye kind of thing. Like when you see that your locks are getting dry, you should moisturize it, or you should water it, and then even oil it when you have the chance to do so. Samuel Alana's W1UM. Did you ever use any brushes or towels to twist them? No, I didn't. The only time I used a towel was to pat dry my head after I got out of the shower. I wouldn't just straight air dry, but I would pat dry and then I would air dry the rest. But that wasn't a method of creating the curls or creating the sections. The curls just started creating themselves and they started sectioning themselves. I just made sure that they were mapped out properly. Red Data 3716 said, how did you keep yours as a fro when you take a shower and then it dries? Mine is staying down right now and I got a tight curl, so I don't understand. Fire Locs though, I appreciate it. When you take a shower, like going about keeping that curl pattern, I don't have a lot of experience with the tighter curl. When you get out of the shower, your hair's damp and it'll just lay straight down, everything will be wet, but that's where the pat dry comes, so it's not super soaked, and then you're just air drying throughout the day. So then as it's air drying, it's slowly drying, so then from being at that drenched look, the air dry will like bring it back to that fro. So during the day my hair would still be kind of damp, but then like once it fully dried, my fro was still like, it still came back. So I think it's just giving it enough time to air dry and then going from there. Professional Rod Dogger 161 said, won't conditioner undo the locking process? It depends what state you're at, for sure. Like say if you're at a state like this, all I'm worried about is my new growth, because if I put conditioner in my hair, like this new growth really won't be affected, because these locks are now already taking its shape, or they already keep this base root growth like structure. Like freeforming, the conditioner won't ruin it. In my opinion, I feel like a conditioner, from my experience with like using conditioners, a conditioner keeps your hair more soft. When you want locks, you want kind of like the most rough texture while still being clean and smelling good. Like that's why I think, okay, just use a shampoo to get all like the dirt and stuff out, but then when it comes to the texture, you don't want to add conditioner because it'll make like your locks more soft. You just want to add something light, like an oil or something to make it shiny, but you don't want to change like the texture of the hair. Me personally, I avoided conditioner when I was freeforming. Maybe I did it like once or twice. Like I said too, the only thing that'll really undo the locking process is if you grab your fingers and you go through your curls. Like if you rake through your curls, all your process is gone. Like everything is finished, you gotta start all over again. So just avoiding that, you should be fine. Turthy69420 said, my hair texture is soft and thick, very dense. If I 2-strand twist, will they lock? If not, what should I do? I'm 100% dedicated. Freeform, my guy. Freeform that motherfucker. Freeform. That's really what I think the best method is freeforming for mixed curls, because you have a looser curl, it takes more time for it to actually lock up. It's freeform, my guy. This question was from CJ. Do your parts come naturally? Yeah, my parts all came naturally. I let the curl go, and then whatever part that curl decided it wanted to create, I would just follow it and I would map it and separate it and just let it keep going. I didn't have anyone go in and separate my locks before I started. It was just whatever curl wanted to go, I would just let it fly, and then I would, you know, map it out and go from there. It's funny too, because recently now I've been having like a lot of just like second guesses or on should I keep the locks, you know, like it becomes a lot of maintenance. I feel like I'm at this step now, or I'm at this like point where I'm like, damn, this is like a lot of maintenance, but I've been able to keep them healthy, I've been able to keep them long, and they look good, and then I just get a retwist and go from there. So I think that's what it is, like the retwist-itis, you know. You don't get a retwist for a minute, and then you start seeing like your hair in the loose, non-twisted state, no cut, da 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 da. So when this happens, you know, you start to get down a little bit. You're like, oh man, my locks aren't as good as I thought they were, da 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 da. This video was a good, you know, like a good way for me to answer a lot of your guys' questions. And feel free to keep DMing me or commenting. I'll try to like respond to as many people as I can. But I feel like a lot of my videos are pretty self-explanatory and it covers a lot of information. I feel like at this point I'm just milking the fuck out of it. But yeah, I still want to keep you guys updated and show you what you want. But I'm going to keep posting other videos about other things that I'm interested in, like making arts or just even rambling, because I'm a yapper. I'm gonna go back to that. But I hope you guys like this video, and then, you know, comment, like, share, whatever. Let's keep this mixed community strong and keep going. I'll keep motivating you guys to keep your locks and try to give you guys hope and all that stuff. So my name was Cameron Safak. Peace.